Final Laguna Seca Group 5 race coming up, and we've got Dugamus on pole again. I think he was on pole for the first race. So we've got Porsche and Porsche on the front row. Graham really lucking in today, isn't he? Because he's had a second place finish, he's had a win, and now he's got second on the grid, which is going to give him a really good opportunity to potentially win again today. Coops lines up third though, and I wouldn't discount him. He really found some pace in the last race, gets his first podium of the season, and the BMW looking very, very handy indeed around here. And he lines up fourth in the Nissan, so it's a really good starting position in the Nissan. Is he going to be able to bring home the bacon this time? We've got Oz, fifth championship contender in the BMW, fifth place. Chrysler also in BMW, sixth place. Didn't have a particularly good race in the last one, but did have a decent race in race one here today. Lee, race one winner in the Ford, lines up seventh with Dubs alongside. Got Sam and Martin on the fifth row of the grid, and then Dom and Mark. Mark really not getting the luck of the draw on these random grids today, so let's see him side through the field. And Dom also almost picking up a podium last race. We look towards the light, and it's a pretty slow start actually for Dugamus, but Graham's straight through, and so is Coops and Oz. So the two BMW, oh, there's cars up everywhere. Safety car for sure, boys. Safety car for sure. It's an absolute mess behind. They have slowed down already, but there's cars off all over the place. Dom involved in that, Sam and Dubs, so two BMWs and a Ford. Hoping the boys are slowing down. Yep, yes they are. So chance for us to catch breath and go through the grid. We have got championship leader Graham, who's won 3 races out of 5 already so far this season, who could make it 4 out of 6 in this one. We've got Coops in second place in the BMW, but I'm looking forward to seeing him try to put some pressure on Graham for the win. Oz is third, so a good start from Oz. Very good start from Oz, and he's right up there with his main championship contenders. Needs to keep up with the rest of the field though. We've got Lee in fourth in the Ford, first of the Fords. Andy hasn't managed to hold on to his fourth off the line, but he is fifth, so in a good position in the Nissan. Dukes is sixth, dropping straight from the pole position all the way down to sixth. He didn't seem to react particularly well off the line, and got a very steady start. Mark's already up to 7th, having started on the last row of the grid yet again. So I'm pleased to see that. Mark will probably make a few more positions up before the end, so looking forward to seeing a battling Mark coming through the field. Grizzly's 8th, Martin 9th in the Porsche. 10th is Sam, and then Dubs and Dom at the back. You can just see them in shot there. So cars get back underway again, I think. Graham leads the pack around. Coops immediately trying to put him under some kind of pressure, but you'll see the difference in the straight line speed as we head out of the final corner here. Through the left-hander they go, threading it through the eye of the needle, especially with that Porsche. You can see even the BMW getting a bit of a slide on, but he's just absolutely nowhere when it comes to straight line performance. That Porsche streaking away, but you'll watch how Coops catches through the twistier sections of the track, and we might not see it immediately, but you wait till the second half of the race. That is when I expect Coops and Oz will start to put Graham under a bit more pressure. Oz actually doing a really good job. He's probably slightly catching on Coops at the moment, but we've got battling going on in the background, and he's held on to 5th at the moment in the Nissan, so that's great stuff. But we've got Mark in 6th. He's got past Dugamus, so Mark 6th, Duke 7th, Martin is 8th at the moment, putting Dukes under pressure, so 2 Porsches going hammer and tongs. Grizzly's 9th at the moment, ahead of Dom, so Dom getting caught up in that incident in the first lap, so he's got a way to go yet. Sam not having such a good race in this one, it has to be said at the moment, neither is Dubs. Dubs has gone back to his older car colour, but it's not helping him at the moment. But Graham's streaking away some kind of lead at the moment. Coops actually probably pulling slightly away from Oz at this stage, but the 2 BMWs still quite close on track. It's actually Lee who is slowly catching monkey, closing down on the back of Oz. So you see the BMWs. Oh, Coops must have made a mistake there though. Look, Coops has gone really deep. Oz is going to make a position up, I think. Oz putting Coops under pressure, can't quite get through though. Coops just about recovers. Well, that's good news from him. And we've got Andy trying to resist massive pressure from Mark, but I don't think he managed to resist too much last race around. I think it's just dropping down the order an instant at turn 1. But yeah, Andy under pressure over that position. Was that Lee? Lee spun out. Oh no! Oh, what a situation for Lee to be in, because he was doing so well. Had an opportunity, I think, to close down on Coops, and Oz is through on Coops. I'm missing all of the action. Everywhere I go, I'm missing all of the overtakes. There's contact between Mark and Andy. I didn't see how that started, to be fair. All I could see was the end of that, and Andy on the inside of Mark. So it's more likely that Andy was at fault, but I can't really apportion any kind of blame because I didn't see how that kicked off. That was much less clear than even the Oz on Mark incident in the previous race, but poor Mark, seemingly involved in many different incidences, many not of his own making. So Mark drops down to 10th. As I say, Coops has been outdone by Oz. I think Coops must have made mistakes. He's dropped a long way behind Oz, and now Oz goes on the chase of Graham. But as I say, I think early stages, and we've got to wait for Graham's Porsche tyres to go off a little bit before an opportunity might arise. All fairly quiet back here. Dub's up to 8th place, so some points at least might end up on the board. As I say, commentator's curse, he slams it off, and Mark comes through in his Ford to replace that position. He's back up to 4th place as a result of the contact between Andy and Mark, which is such a shame from their perspectives, but good to see Lee back up there. He was trying to apply some pressure to the BMW boys, but it's not happened. And Martin and Dukes having a good battle over 5th, so the two Porsche guys going well. And again, Dukes, this could well be his best result of the season if he can hold off ahead of Martin. Graham rather quietly going into turn 1 there, and we should just see Oz. There is Oz in the background just coming around in the BMW now. Coops is 3rd ahead of Lee. These boys hardly look like they're fighting at the moment, but I can assure you they are pushing the max out of their cars. Oh, and in the background was that Dukes and Martin have come off. I don't know if Martin clattered into Dukes. I suspect he did, because he's given that place back, and now that's given Sam an opportunity to chase him down. That's a real shame from Dukes' perspective, because he was running a good race, and although he's not lost a position, as Martin has quite rightly given it back if there was a push from Martin, which I can't confirm, so I didn't see it. Oh no, now Dukes has got a big sideways moment. Martin backs out though, thinks better of it. But what I was trying to say is they are backing their ways. They're backing themselves back into these other guys, and Mark is actually now the best of those, because Mark's got past Sam. As Martin goes for the move, heading up the hill, Dukes goes too deep, recovers it, but goes too deep nonetheless. Mark in 7th place at the moment in the Ford, and then Sam in the BMW in 8th are the next guys that might have a go at Dukes if they can get close enough. Mark's been up and down this field like a yo-yo in this race, it feels. He started a long way back, moved quite far up, and then got knocked back again, and here he is moving back up. Andy, unfortunately, in the Nissan is not having a good race. He's now all the way down at the back of the field, and that does look very tricky to drive. And we'll see what Mark can now do about Duke's Porsche up ahead. So the Ford's not the quickest in a straight line, but it ain't too shabby in the corners. You can see Duke's struggling with the back of that Porsche. struggling with both ends of it, to be honest. Just doesn't have the turning. And Mark looking very, very composed and very gentle with his car at the moment. I think he knows he's got a grip advantage or a pace advantage in the corners, and does. He sides underneath him. Great move from Mark. He's going to get ahead well before the corner, so there's no contention over that position at this stage. Mark just needs a reasonable exit, because this is where it's difficult. The Porsches are so quick, and here comes Dukes to try and put him under some pressure. I hope they get through there in one piece. They do. It's not a completely quiet race. There are battles going on. Sam is just on the tail of these boys. So Mark moves himself up to 6th, ahead of Dumas, Craig in 7th. Sam is 8th, Dom is 9th. Dom having a very quiet race after that huge trip into the air, off the line, tangling with some other cars. Didn't see any of what happened, so cannot tell you who or what might have been at fault. But there were a lot of cars going everywhere. Chrysler is 10th, ahead of Dubs. Dubs trying to put him under pressure, and Andy's not actually too far behind in the red Nissan, just coming through turn 1 there in the background. Well, what else could we see before the end? Well, this is what we could see. Cooper's making a mistake. Mark up to 5th place. Now, what I was saying earlier about Mark being up and down like a yo-yo, well, that continues. That theme continues, and Mark will hope that that theme doesn't continue too much more, because although he'd like to get higher up the grid, he certainly wouldn't want to be dropping back down again just as quickly. But he's got a real opportunity in this race to perhaps finish 4th. Lee is up to 3rd in his Ford, but I think there is an opportunity here for the Ford of Mark. And Coops is off again in the background, so Coops struggling a little bit again in this one. He seemed to have good speed, but he just keeps throwing it off the track. And those 8 pints starting to take effect, I think. Don't drink and drive, guys, this is what happens. And we've got Dom and Sam battling over 8th place, going into the final turn. These boys were really impressive in race 1. I loved watching them. I know Dom's not had the luck of it in this one, and I don't really know what's happened with Sam. He might have also been involved in that tangle. But yeah, it's good to see them doing some good racing again in this one, albeit not for quite as high positions or quite as good points. Graham is still our race leader. Hardly mentioned him, or Oz or Lee, who are 2nd and 3rd. They've all got big gaps between them. I don't expect that that's going to change before the end. The tyre wear issues that I suspect it might hamper Graham has not really come to fruition. He's actually pulling a bigger gap over Oz at the moment. But Coops just staying clear of this group at the moment, but Dukes is 7th, under pressure from Dom. And Dukes makes a mistake, Dom goes through. Graham's taken his 2nd race victory of today, his 4th out of 6 this season. Oz is 2nd, great driving from those boys, and great driving from Lee to recover to 3rd. He could have potentially been on for the win, I think, at one point, had it not been for that mistake. Martin is looking like he's going to bring home the Porsche in a really decent, solid 4th place. Just needs to get the car slowed. Mark's trying to put him under pressure. It's not going to happen. Oh no! Mark's lost it in the background. Is Mark going to recover in 5th place, or is he going to get done by Coops? Here comes Coops! Coops is past! Dom is going to go through as well! Oh, Mark, you mugged yourself there, mate. The yo-yo curse continues. Down to 7th place. Dumas takes 8th place ahead of Sam, and who's 9th, and then Dubs takes the final point in the Ford. Chrysler and Andy finishing outside the points. And next week we will be heading to Laguna Park, and we'll have to see which of the cars fares best there. Graham having another storming run today, of course, extending his championship lead. 4 races in 6. Be interesting to see. I think the next circuit, you need a fair bit of punch, you need a fair bit of straight line speed, so I expect that the, even though it's a particularly short track, I expect the Porsche to be pretty good there once more, and just get a confirmation of that race result. And we're back live next week. Fastest lap for Graham there, but not much better than Oz. Oz very good as well. And that's all the racing for today.